A massive welcome to National Geographic's Facebook page. We are live in the African bush with my favorite leopard in this part of the world. We're in Cheetah Plains Private Game Reserve. My name is Brent Smith. I have my very good friend. Wow, wasn't that incredible? She is absolutely gorgeous. So as I was saying, my name is Brent. I've got my very good friend Brian on camera. He's got a happy sunny thumb because it's the first day we've seen sunshine in a while. And it is New Year's Eve here in South Africa, and we are being absolutely spoilt by this female leopard. You just heard her rasping. Now I think she's calling for her cub. He's about 13 months old, and at that age he can wander a little bit. So she's busy looking for him, calling from the tree, hoping he's going to appear. Now, wouldn't that be exciting? So she's about 10 years old, this female, and she is absolutely exquisite, that golden color. And her name, as I said, was Inkanyeni, which means marula tree, and that's the tree she's in right now, the tree she's named after. And she's named after that tree because she spends so much time climbing into these trees. Sounds like Now, Kalina says she has amazing eyes. If you want to comment or ask me questions just like Kalina just did, pop down on the feed below. Oh, yawn. Also, remember to tell you where you're watching from. I think we might be in for an absolute treat. She might come down this marula tree, probably about 6 or 7 feet from us. And we are in for an absolutely wonderful time. As I said, I'm absolutely ecstatic. This is my favorite leopard, and we don't get to see her too often. She can be very secretive, but today she is definitely being the star. There we go. As I said, hopefully. Hello, Kylie. Kylie says this is amazing. And remember that we are on Facebook today, but from Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be going live on Nat Geo Wild, and you can join us for a fun-filled African safari as we follow the big cats, the lions, the leopards, and as well as the elephants and other creatures that abound in this wonderland. We are in the Greater Kruger National Park. It is an 8.5 million hectare unfenced wilderness wonderland where these animals are protected and roam free. This is not a zoo. Look at this. She's going to pass within about 3 feet from me. Isn't this absolutely amazing? Look at that. She's so close we can't even see her. Now, these leopards have grown up with safari vehicles around them, and they feel completely safe in our presence, and they go upon their daily business as if we weren't even here. And you can see that lovely white fluffy tail. That is a following mechanism. So if her cub was trying to follow her through the bush and got a little bit lost by her incredible camouflage, that white tail is there to lead the way. Okay, let's keep up with her as she moves through the bush. Now, we get quite a few different female leopards out here. Ooh, that was very close. That would have been very, very sad for me. There's an aardvark burrow there, and those like to trick you into falling into them because you don't see them until it's too late. So we're going to have to go a little different route to keep up with her. I don't feel like getting stuck today. Hello, Danielle. Danielle's wondering, are leopards the same as jaguars except for their location? No, they're not, Danielle. They're completely different species. Leopards are much smaller than jaguars. So she probably doesn't weigh much more. So I'm going to concentrate as we wind through the bush. As you can see, I'm not actually following a road. I'm following the leopard wherever she's going. Now, watch your heads there. Now, Danielle, leopards are a different species completely. They obviously, most of the big cats share a common ancestor many millennia ago, but at the moment, they are very, very separate species. They are part of the same sort of genus, which is Panthera. And the Panthera cats are quite special because they are the only cats that can roar or rasp, like we've just heard. That now, that is because they have a modified hyoid apparatus, which is a bone in their voice box. So lions, leopards, jaguars, tigers are able to roar or rasp, and any of the smaller cats are only able to meow and purr. So they don't have that ability. So in the small cats, that hyoid apparatus, or that bone, is completely solid, but in big cats, it's cartilage, and so it's quite elastic. Okay. Now, Laura is wondering, where do I think her cub is? He's around somewhere. So he's a young male. He's about, as I say, nearly 14 months old. So he's quite big already. And he tends to wander at that age. And so she could be around. There could also be another reason why she's calling. Now, the big cats call loudly like that. And one of the reasons is to make sure any other female leopards will know that this is her territory and they shouldn't come in here. Oh, let's try and get through the bush here. Isn't this absolutely exciting, absolutely wonderful, following this incredible female leopard as she goes about her daily business. Now, as I said, a lot of you might be quite worried about me. Don't worry, I'm 100% safe. I'm very good at reading these animals' body language. I've been doing it for many years. And if she showed any signs of not being comfortable with my presence, I would immediately move away and leave her alone. Off she goes. Now, as I say, this is an 8.5 million acre wilderness area, and the animals are free to traverse where they will. Now, her territory encompasses areas that we can't go into, so hopefully she stays with us. Ooh, looks like she might go scent mark. So what she does, she's smelling, and that's how one of the ways leopards communicate, by scent marking on trees, and they'll leave bits of information there for other leopards to pass by. So she's just checked. She hasn't needed to scent mark again. She's probably scent marked that spot quite recently. Hi, Adrian. Adrian says he loves how comfortable she is. Yes, Adrian, we are very careful how we drive around these animals, and the moment they start showing any sign of distress, we will leave them be. But it does take time, and in this area, these safaris have been going on for over 30 years. So she would have grown up with safari vehicles, her cubs grown up with safari vehicles, and it is just an incredible thing. Now, Suzanne is wondering, do female leopards stay in groups like lions? No, they do not, Suzanne. They are the only, or lions are the only big cat that stays in a group. Let's just go a little bit forward. I think she's going to pop out into a slightly more open area, so I'm just waiting without having to bash and crash through the bush. Now, of course, I'm not the only one out here. Oh, there she is, up on a tree out in the African bush. We have James who's out, and he's looking at one of the largest, scariest predators we get here in the African bush, and that is, of course, the Nile crocodile. And you can join us to follow us for the rest of the safari on the website wildsafarialive.com, and we are about to end this little Facebook broadcast. Remember, go join us on Nat Geo Wild, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night. And for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be having you out here in the bush with us. And you can also join us every day, wildsafarialive.com. Let's have a look at this exquisite leopard for the last few seconds of this Facebook broadcast.